Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about something that some people do. Some would call it narcissistic. I call it a narcissistic the behaviors, and histrionic behaviors, a blend, narcissistic histrionic blend. And there's some little bit of sadistic kind of sick thrill they get out of it, these things. And it's about and I'm going to tell some stories of things I've seen about this. Now, these are people who want to be the center of attention, not really so much in the narcissistic way, but in more in the histrionic way. If they want they don't care what kind of attention it is. If it's because of negative reasons or positive reasons, as long as they are the center of attention, but they must be the center of attention. Okay, now I had started talking about this on a different channel that I use about toxic people, but it's mainly about dysfunctional families and toxic people. And then I thought, no, I should put it on this channel where I usually have a lot of things about these narcissistic, histrionic kind of people that I've known in my life. And on that channel, I mentioned that I'm going to coin this. I always get irritated when people want to coin something, you know. But I'm going to on this one. It kind of makes me laugh, but it is the story of my life, of what I have had to deal with. And 56 years old, story of my life. And I call it you hear the dark triad, which is narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. Well, to me, this is the dramatic dark triad. Dramatic. There's that extra word in I know what you're going to say, but this one involves narcissism, sadistic and histrionic behaviors. All the behaviors of these three. And the blend, like I just said earlier, is, yeah. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to coin it the dramatic dark triad. Yeah. Or you could even say there's a dramatic dark tetrad. Okay, but I've been making videos for years about this type because, like I said, it is the story of my life. And as far as these two people, I'm going to talk about going no contact. And it could be going no contact with family members, friends, family, people you work with, and you maybe have to go and quit your job, whatever it is, because they're truly toxic people. Truly bad people, whatever it is. I'm not diagnosing anybody with some kind of personality disorder or anything, but some people seem to think that if you can't go total no contact, then you're wrong, you're bad, you're just setting yourself up. No, there are many situations people can be in when you can't go totally no contact. That's when people often do what they call gray rock, and basically act like a gray rock around these toxic people. Don't give them anything to work off of. Well, they can work off of anything, in my experience. Just the fact that you're there, or that somebody knows that you ran across them, so they make these false narratives, these lies, these stories about what really did not happen. But to them, they tell everybody that it did happen when the two of you went to, were around one another. They'll use anything, some of them. It's not a one-size-fits-all. But, yeah, it was a lot, wasn't it, to process. But, yeah, so some people think that you have to go total no contact. No, it just doesn't always work for everybody. It just does not. Okay? Who would think that it would? Okay? Different people, different situations. No two situations, no two people, no two situations are going to be the same. And there could, some things it could even be worse for that person. Like if you had a job and you couldn't find another one, you can't just go no contact with your boss, so that's just that. You could be living in a family and you can't just go no contact with the family. You live within the home, the house. There's so many different things, and I'm not saying anybody, well, you can make up in your mind that your situation is so bad that you can't. I'm not trying to tell anybody, give anybody any advice in any direction. That's up to them. They have to pay the consequences of their actions or inactions, So anyway, so people pressuring people to go total no contact. That's so bad. You're just putting pressure on people who are already, in a dire situation. So stop, really. That's my opinion. They should stop, and they should realize, what are they doing to people who cannot do that? Okay. Now, for those who can, some of them simply go low contact. Okay, they might do the gray rock too, low contact. And have as little contact as possible in some kind of situation, or with certain people, whatever it is. This is where I am. It's well enough past rush hour, so I'm wondering what's going on up there. Real life happens in the middle of a video. But, and of course somebody's banging their music. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. There's always that one. Always that one. I think I used to be that one years ago. Years ago. You learn as you grow older. And that's what this is about. Okay, let me finally get to this. Now, the situation that I'm in, I know, in a way, I'm just more of an observer, but not. Okay, it's kind of difficult to explain that away. Explain it. And I don't want to give the exact situation because of, that whole thing of like protecting the innocent. Okay. So I'm going to give more of one that's more of like a composite, or some of the things I've seen, some hypothetical. But yeah, let me get to it. Okay, and finally get to it. Now, before I do, I'm in pain. I fell a week ago Sunday. Today is Wednesday. And I'm trying to get myself out to do things, but sitting in a car is hard. I have a knee injury. I fell on a hardwood floor really hard on my left knee, and it hurt. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit down. The sitting down is the worst. Really, sitting. It's not the actual bending. It's just the sitting there. It causes a dull ache. Now, at this point, before it was horrible. But anyway, so if you hear it in my voice, or you hear me rubbing my leg like that, I don't know if you can hear it or not. But anyway, that's the reason. So now, to get to this. You see, this is a kind of situation where that could be an example. Okay, here, like I had fallen, I had have Adam help me for about a week. He had to do basically everything because I just couldn't. And seriously, it was like the first time in eons. I cannot even remember somebody having to take care of me ever, really. Seriously, except for people in a hospital when I went in back in the year 2000 with pancreatitis. That was it, and that's the hospital staff. Besides, just people I know taking care of me. It just doesn't happen. I haven't had a reason for it to happen. So, in that kind of situation, people who are this narcissistic histrionic blend, they would use that kind of situation. I'm not one, so I don't use it. They would use it to try to get money or items off of people. Seriously. I've seen this happen otherwise with one of the two that I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to give names, not going to indicate who they are, but yeah. I also want to say that I just wish this would not be true. I just wish it were something like I'm just creating this in my mind. It's not. It is not the case. That's the sad thing. And I am not going to discuss it with anybody who's involved because they use the smear campaign. So I'm venting basically on video. That's my way of getting out, what's going through. Help me, redirect, help me to think through it, all of it, and, give myself that relief, I call it a pressure relief valve of this, dealing with this, seeing this. This is a long, long story, so. Now, when I've known these two people for, well, I'm saying I'm not going to indicate, but it might come out by accident, but I've known these people since I was very young. It's two women around my age. I've known them since I was young, and they're friends. Okay, like I said, I'm low contact with them and have been for many years, but there are situations that come up that, yeah, there's some kind of contact, and when you get older, you'll see that, like, there could be legal reasons, or such as things as deaths, or, emergencies, people in crisis situations, all kinds of things that could come up and have contact with them. Or you hear about them, through somebody else, what these people are doing. And like I said, or have I said, these are people who will use any kind of situation. It could be somebody, one another. Let's say they have somebody who's died in their family, there's a death. And the other one, both of them will use that situation. You would think that they would not. But they would use that situation to get attention. And they don't care if people are saying things to them like, are you paying attention to what you're doing? You're trying to turn it all around about you. And when it's a crisis situation like this, you're not the only person involved, yet you're doing this. They don't care. That's attention. Then they can always make up lies about this person. They can always smear campaign that person that goes against them. Anyway, it would be great if I were wrong about all this, like I said. And sometimes seeing it is unbelievable, what they will do. But I've seen it all my life in certain people. Not everybody. Of course, it's not everybody. And they don't all do the same thing in the same way. But kind of similar. But all my life. Okay, like I said, there are good people, a lot of good people, but I'm talking about these bad people. And it's not really all that unbelievable because I've seen it so many times. And so I'm trying to read my notes here. So anyway, so I've given that one of when people are grieving. Oh, I've seen it at funerals. People are grieving. Somebody's got a bad diagnosis. Fatal. What's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm talking about. That they might not survive it. They will use that. It makes me think of that movie. Always makes me think of that movie. Terms of Endearment, the way the mother acted. She had to twist attention back on herself. They have to be the center of that attention. And they can have empathy for the person who's having the problem for a little while, but too much attention, once you start getting more attention, way too much attention, they will turn it back around. That's how they do it. The ones I've known, they do it. Okay, so like I said, there's a funeral. They're going to be on stage, very theatrical kind of people. Some of them, not. Let me just say, one size of this doesn't fit all, but it's just the way I'm going to talk about it. It might sound like a generalization. Okay. They're going to stand out. They wear a lot of bling. They talk very loud. They laugh very loud. They dress very loud. They want to be seen. They want to be the center of attention. All of these things, and they don't care. Like I just said, at a funeral even. Okay, people are there to pay the respects to the family that, to the person that died and the family, and you know how funerals go. But no, they're going to be like a hostess. I saw one of them act like a hostess, seriously, at a funeral. Okay, they're going to stand out. They're going to do something that is very abnormal. Behaviors, yeah. Okay. Now, over all these years, I've seen so much with these two. I'm just giving a little samples. Another one involves natural disasters. Wherever you live, maybe you've had hurricanes, you've had earthquakes or tornadoes or whatever it is, fires, mud, so many things that could be. Or, maybe like when I was growing up, we had a train that derailed and it had chemicals on it, so we all had to evacuate. Situations like that, whatever is the case, they're, they're going to use this to their advantage in some way, somehow. And it doesn't, to them, it doesn't really seem to matter, the ones, to these two I know, how much danger they put themselves in. Okay, because their ultimate goal in this, besides the attention is very important, but they'll use it to get money and items off of other people. Okay, their sympathy, that will lead to them getting money. Some people have seen stuff like this online or in person, whatever way. Let's say online, it's like what they call e-beggars. The e-beggars, the e-scammers, the e-con artists. They find a way to scam and get money or items and whatever off of people. They will use their own tragedy or somebody else's tragedy, or just whatever, make up a lie, make up a story, I just recently saw another one, make up a story, a lie, to try to get money, okay? Try to get items. Okay, so what I've seen is hurricanes, during after, before, during, after, big hurricanes. These days, you are warned. You are forewarned. But when I was young, I've been through many hurricanes in my life. Okay, when I was younger, there was not this kind of warning. And I was actually on the highway one time, traveling from Houston to Dallas, and a hurricane. Before I left, I had checked the weather, of course, but a hurricane turned during that time, and that I was on the road. But it wasn't a time of cell phones, news. You could watch the news while you're driving, kind of thing. It just wasn't, and I had no clue. But a hurricane turned and was right behind me. I was riding the waves. It caught up, riding those waves of and finally got into a rest area, because I couldn't see the road in front of me, and I got into a rest area, and out in the boonies, seriously out in the boonies, in between Houston and Dallas, and I was in a truck back then, with a king cab truck, and a guy tried to jump in the back of it, and bad times like that. Now, I'm a person who says, okay, if we're forewarned about something, you don't go driving, you don't stay there. If they're saying there's a hurricane heading in your direction or anywhere near you, you leave. You go up north. You go away from where you could have the effects of this hurricane. But this type, no. They will stay right there. Or one of them kept being pressured to leave, so she would leave like at the very last moment, because she's wanting that attention so bad, and to get money off of people. How many people can she tell that she doesn't have the money to get to the other place, so they'll give her money? Seriously. Or items, donate food, whatever it is, to her, so she could get herself and her family out of there. And I'm not talking one was a kid, but adults that were under her care. Anything. She would wait to that last moment, and then that was no longer the situation for her. So she would do things like she'd stay. Oh yeah, she'd stay. Like I said, she stayed to that last moment. One time she did it and she got stuck. Okay, she got stuck there, and we're talking, she had to be picked up by a boat. Yeah, with a lot of other people. Now, a lot of other people are going through this. She doesn't live on an island by herself. A lot of other people are going through it. But she's going to try to get money off of the other people who are going through it, or get people to, deposit money in her account. Okay, this is a grown woman around my age. I'm 56. This kind of thing, and she got stuck and wound up in a home. What do they call them? A shelter during it, and then didn't have food for almost a day. Of course, that's the story. We don't know the truth. Never know the truth with them. And the other one had been through a really bad one. Said out that she would never do it again. Never ever stay. Once the hurricane warning was there, she was going to be out of there. And these are people who are forcing other people to stay with them, or just telling them to go ahead and go, but I'm staying here. And how many people are going to leave somebody they love or care for there? And you see, it's going to be very theatrical, very dramatic. Anyway, that other one, she She said she would never do it again, but yeah, she did, because she learned from the first one. That's a good way to get sympathy, attention, money, whatever she wanted. That was a good way to do it to her. Okay, now as I said, these two are friends, and they've known one another for pretty much all their lives too. And they bounced off of one another. They tolerate one another. They might even work a little scam together. And one might be there for the other whenever the other, because they know that it might, eventually, they might need to use that other one or get something from the other one. So they're kind of there for one another through all these problems, through thick and thin. Through scam after scam is really what it is. Okay, and it's okay because they're both scammers. They both know how to get, to work the tears, to work, trying to shame and guilt and all this other people to get money from them. Whatever they want. It's not always money. Like, for example, the last hurricane, and it's, weather's gotten worse over many years. And they have lots of hurricanes. And, one of them, oh my goodness, they now use social media. Okay, now there's a time of using social media and the old-fashioned way of calling people. But one actually put on social media, now all these people who were affected, many people who were affected by this hurricane and all the flooding and the houses were underwater. But this one had the nerve to put on social media, if there was anybody out there who could donate to her free of charge, free of charge, an RV. Yeah, seriously. I mean, for her boyfriend and her teenage daughter. Oh, wow, really? And as it turned out, her teenage daughter, she put off on somebody else, but somebody did donate to her a trailer, an RV trailer. Yeah. Wow. But see, they learn from this. They learn that they can use this. Even though so many other people are suffering, they've learned how to manipulate people to get that money, to get those items, whatever it is. Now, I should have said this from the beginning, because I know what one comment is always going to be there is, what business is it of yours, how they get their money, how they get their things. I'm going to address that. Not right now, but I will address that. It is my business. It is everybody's business. Okay? But I'll address that later on. Now, to go back on the story, the one that got stranded there, was supposed to leave, had plenty of people giving her places to go, including me, places up north, or central, to, far from there, that would not be affected. Got stuck, had to be picked up by a boat, a rescue, and all that. Okay. Told me for, I think, a whole day that she was on her way to come stay at mine once she got out of there. Her son-in-law or something like that. Not son-in-law, but her boyfriend's son, I guess it was. Picked him up, got a big old truck. Eventually, when he could rescue them, brought them out of there, and told me for a whole day that she was traveling to come, to come stay with me, her and her boyfriend, and she never made it. Yeah, she was using that situation to try to get money from me and other people, saying that she was on the road, they needed more money. Her excuse was there was no gas at any of the places, which they did have a gas issue problem back then during that one. But she was in another state. Constantly things like this to get attention, to say she's trying to, I can see her tell other people she was trying to get to my house, but she couldn't because she didn't have money for this. Anyways, it turned out she got a really nice vacation paid by the government, but also other people who donated it. Yeah. And no, her vacation wasn't at my place. She finally that night I called her and said, what's going on? Where are you? And yeah, she said, oh, the government came through and we got some money, so we're staying in this hotel. She took pictures. She kept doing you know, the con on social media after that, and it was a really nice place. Okay, she probably had, yeah, so much. And like I said, I would love for all of this to be, false, but it's true. I have seen them before social media. I've known them, like I said, most of my life. I have seen them played out. Now, new people to them, because, people like, figure it out, and they say bye-bye, bye-bye, no contact, low contact, whatever is the case. They just keep getting more and more and more people. It's like a revolving door, and it's just ongoing. They have people who are going to be there for them. And then they'll see the light and they'll leave, and more people come in. You get what I'm saying? And as you can see from this lesson, that both of them getting stuck there, basically, they learned their lesson that, they can make up for it afterwards. If they didn't get them, I think one of them probably just didn't get the funds in early enough, and the other one was just holding out, or, whatever it was. But they both learned that they could get things off of people afterwards, a lot more. People feel a lot more sympathy for them. Oh, my house got flooded. Well, a lot of people's houses got flooded, but they had worked it the whole while. And one of them actually said something negative about the other one after that. Come on, you're pulling the same scam. You're pulling the same sob story, I should say. It's not really a scam. It just depends how you look at it. But, playing with the sob story to get finances, yeah. Okay. Now, the reason it's on my mind, and by the way, I might have to divide this up into 2 videos if it gets too long. But anyway, the reason it's on my mind is because a tragedy has occurred with them too, and this happens in their lives. Just recently, I didn't know about it because I hurt my leg, the knee injury, and I just wasn't online, and I had stopped being online, I think a week before then, on that social media, at least, and so I had no idea, and it happened during that time. It happened, I think, the day before actually the day before I fell, and I fell I think it was, I really never got when. That's another thing they do. They don't give details. Not very much details, nope. Not at all. But anyway, so I didn't know. And then I found out just a couple of nights ago. Yeah, a couple of nights ago. And, where was I going with that? Okay, there's another one. There's yet another one. And it clicked. At first I was just shocked by what had happened, the tragedy itself. I'm not going to talk about what it is. Say, like I said, about the innocent people. But it did click in my mind. Oh my goodness, they're going to use this. Both of them will use this really bad tragedy to get attention and to get money and to get things and to do again, because they know no bounds. They do not have boundaries at all. When it comes to which is not socially acceptable behavior. They don't care. They don't have any decency. Okay, it's all about them getting what they want. And you would think, okay, could you maybe do things like go and get a job all this time? Now, not everybody can. No, not everybody can get jobs, and I'm well aware of that, or get enough to be able to support themselves in in a good, decent way, especially with, let's see, when was the last time the minimum wage was raised? Come on, I was making more than that when I was in my 20s, and so naive and young, hadn't even gone to college or university, nothing. Yeah, wow. But yeah, it's not a living wage, in other words. But they, what they want, and I think my dad used to call it, and I think a lot of people used to call it this, is caviar appetite and baloney money. But it is, yeah. They want these big things. And like I said, I did that video, put it on a different channel, and I decided to put it on this channel, so I have to get the whole background. But yeah, I was thinking, just don't let it be. Have some decency. Don't let the situation be one that you do. Now, I'm a person who's known them all these years. Think about this. I've known them all these years, so I know what they do. Other newer people, they don't know that. They don't know this is how they get whatever they want off of people. Well, how they get what they want off of anybody. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter if the person's poor. You know, poor themselves. They'll try to get money or items off of the people. Because to them, it's all about them. It's all about them getting what they want. Now, here's another thing. Okay, after this more recent one, there were plenty of others I could have mentioned. Like I said, I've seen plenty with these. And like I said, I'm low contact. It's lowest, really, really low. But then I heard about this one. It's a tragedy. It's something I'm still in shock about myself. And so is Adam, by the way. He's pretty shocked by it too. And yeah, I haven't had time to process it because right then, during all of this, is that, yeah, they did start their thing. One of them was traveling from up north of the United States and suddenly disappeared. Her adult daughter put up something about wondering where her mom is after days. And she's still not putting up anything on Facebook to state that she's made it. No, she's getting attention that way. People wondering what happened to her. But, when you have a chat, on Facebook it will show if the person's been on and all that. Yeah. I don't know if she knows that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And now, during all of this, okay, the tension was too much on the other one or on something else of their group. So she did something to get the tension back on herself. And plus, a big part of it is money. She was trying to get money, not from being missing. Well, she could probably twist and turn that. But it was also, she's probably going to. I'm just going to say, she probably is. But also, the reason why she was traveling in the first place. It fell through, and she's going to try to work it to get more money from other people, from innocents, people who haven't figured it out yet. But that's not the only one. The other one did it too. Okay, and I had made another video, the second one yesterday. I put the other one up the day before about it on the other channel, like I said. And I made another one and I uploaded it yesterday on the other channel. I should have uploaded it on this one and switched them to this one like I was saying. But I was giving little updates, and one of them was this about what are they going to do? How are they going to work it? And sure enough, after I made that one yesterday, that night, the other one worked it. Oh, yes. I'm just like, it is not a time when anybody should be using this kind of thing. Seriously, not using this kind of thing to get items, to get money, to get donations. It's just not. Seriously. But what did she do? She came up with an actual item that she needed. Now, these are people who will take, like during the hurricanes and, afterwards, donations, financial donations, but afterwards, anything, clothes, it doesn't matter. A lot of people don't have correct clothing. And didn't I say I've been through hurricanes? I cannot ever remember having to beg like they do. Okay, I've been through some bad ones. But they will beg. They will get it from people. They will get what they want. Now this one, during this tragedy, which was not a natural disaster, this one should be the last one. The last person who would ever do this. But she's found a way to try to get, now get this, a new cell phone. I'm talking, she actually put out there what kind she wants. They are not inexpensive. It's about around $1,000 plus. And of course she's saying, if you just have one lying around that you're not using. And it's not, I'm not asking it for free. To not be charged for it. BS. That's exactly what she's doing. I've seen it over many, many years. How they work it. They can say all that stuff. If you just have one lying around. I don't know about you, but I don't have one new. a new cell phone that, we're not talking the chibi kind either. Just lying around. And yeah, you're going to pay with what money? Huh? You never have money. You always find some reason to have, oh, I can't afford things. Yeah. So, what business is it of anybody's, right? What is the business what business is it of anybody's? I'll give you a hint. If you have fallen for that line of bullshit, and that's what that is, that people have told you, and you've fallen for the person who's telling you that it's nobody's business how they get their money, when they're conning people, like I said earlier, even poor people. Yeah, I need to make a whole video on that. I really do think I'm going to. But I'm going to put out a little there. Yes, I see it in two ways. Although there are exceptions to every rules, and there could be other reasons, but one is somebody who's fooled by them, and we can't really blame the victim because weren't we all at one time fooled by them? Okay, but for them to turn around and be a flying monkey and say, you're wrong because it's none of your business how they get their money, yeah, it is. Another thing is, these are the people who will do a smear campaign on you if you don't give them what they want. And they do it behind the scenes. But the thing is, they'll also do it behind your back even if you do help them. Okay? You're not helping enough. You're the one who's selfish. You haven't even, to them, that's what they'll tell people. You have no clue that it's going on. Because there you are stepping up to the plate to help them. Or you said you couldn't help them. They're going to use it. That gets them attention. That's what they want. I need to do a whole video on that. Seriously. I need to. Maybe it's again. Because this thing is consistent in my life. It happens over and over and over again. Like I said, low contact. But you still hear about them. And when there's a tragedy, yeah. Okay. I think this video got to be pretty long. And I warned earlier on. So I'm going to have to make that one another one. Maybe with another update. And like I said, I'm not trying to get attention from this. I'm venting. Seriously. And I think that on that other channel, I think that might have been how it come off. Because I didn't say. I'm not going to talk to anybody that is any way, shape, form, or fashion knows about this, knows them, knows the situation, the tragedy, and all that. Because any little piece of information that gets back to this type, they use it. They use it to cause damage, to get the attention they want. The smear campaign, they'll, basically talk behind your back, bring up a bunch of BS. That's none of it's true. You can't make it up in your mind. You can't mind read and say, oh, this is what they're doing this time, so I can go and tell everybody else they're wrong, they're doing that. And other people won't tell you because they're so good. These people are so good at the manipulation. They've built a story from when you were young, built up story after story so they can get all the attention back on themselves, and they don't care if they were in relationships for you. They don't care. They want that attention, and they don't want you to grab any attention from anybody. And that's how they see it. Is you're grabbing attention away, and you're taking it away from them. And that attention could lead to money. So it's all about the money. It's all about the attention, getting the money. Some of them, they just get a thrill out of it. Some of them, like I said, this more sadistic kind of behavior, they get a thrill out of seeing how much power and control they have. That's why I said you might want to add in the whole, it all being the whole dark, dramatic dark triad, tetrad. Add in the Machiavellianism. Oh, they just love all this control, and they just get such a thrill out of having it. And oh boy, in that dramatic way, center of attention. And some of them will use such they have such arrogance all around. So you see what I'm saying? Anyway, wrapping this up because this is probably really long. We'll see what happens if I have to divide it up. Talk to y'all in another video. Bye.